What up? My name is Nelson, aka Nothing Less, Old English Crew, Westside National City. Hip hop is a big aspect in my life. Like, it kind of brings a lot of people together that you wouldn't see normally kick it together, you know? Especially like it gives kids in the neighborhoods and all the neighborhoods around the world an outlet to get creative, be themselves, be original, and just do their thing. But to me, hip hop's always been more so about my family and my neighborhood where I grew up. It's more so the environment that I lived around growing up, and kind of describes myself and what my crew does as far as making music. So I'd say more so my neighborhood and the city I came from, National City, San Diego, is my biggest influence.
What would you say to those who do not appreciate hip-hop music?
I'd say that they need better understanding as far as in hip-hop. They need to actually go and meet the individuals instead of like judging the whole music as a genre or like a I don't know what the word is, misinterpretation of what you perceive as negative or what the media perceives as negative. You know, whatever Bill O'Reilly tells you is probably not correct. Growing up in National City, everybody who I grew up around, that was the basis of what music, what was kind of like put in the forefront for us to hear, you know? It was something that we all related to. We related to the stories, the struggle, you know, the hustle, you know, and we also just admired the image, you know? It was a culture that we accepted completely because we felt we can see ourselves in that same situation. I grew up in a predominantly barrio neighborhood where a lot of my friends were Mexican, you know? I grew up around like a lot of essays and fucking just gang members, you know what I mean? And it was a big gang like environment, the neighborhood we grew up in the early 80s and 90s, you know? So, but I really felt race has never been a cultural aspect behind it. I feel like, you know, if you're involved in hip hop is more than just race. It's more of a culture where it accepts anybody, whether you're doing graffiti, whether you're doing music, whether you're doing, you know, business, whatever, you know what I mean? Hip hop's for everybody, and especially if you understand the music, you know it's more than just being about race.
And how you feel about that?
Well, I mean, as far as in like using the N-word, like it's like not a big part of my vocabulary, to be honest. But I mean, as far as in hip hop goes, it's been around forever, even before that, you know, the slave days. Like you guys probably already know out there, but it's just forever going to be a part of the slang culture. You know what I mean? It's beyond what it really means from back in the day, and I think now some more days, like more so, like you're gonna hear it, like whether you like it or not. Like that's just how it goes. Like I really have no explanation. I'm not African American, so I couldn't really tell you like the in-depth like nature of why people use it, but I think now it's just a part of the American way of just using slang. Like I said, we would just have like ciphers. A cipher is pretty much, you know, just a circle of homies just rapping and spinning freestyles over beats or freestyles over just beatboxes. You know, after a while, we kind of took it more serious. We delved into going in the studio, rapping, making albums, making mixtapes, you know, the usual the hip hop format. But nowadays, you know, as far as in cultural goes, between me, my crew it consists of me, a Filipino American, and a Mexican American who both grew up in National City. Save yourself and nothing less. We talk a lot about the environment where we grew up, you know, the neighborhood where we grew up, stories about people in our neighborhood. Also, you know, just family and kind of just like, you know, negatives that describe situations that we've gone through to show people there is a positive beyond the negative. Not letting your kids listen to hip hop because of the cuss words is one thing, but to like totally like block them out from the whole culture, I think is a mistake, just because it's a whole nother lifestyle and a whole nother way of living, and it's only really experienced by a large demographic of people that come from that environment. So if you're not from that environment, it's kind of best to like, you know, really learn about that. Like, you know, it's just like learning about people from Japan or Egypt or, you know, anybody from around the world. You know, you want to know about different cultures, and this is probably one of the ones that in our generation, in our lifetime, has made major differences in the world that we live in today. And you can see that in media, and you can see that in just the way people strut down the street, and you can see that in just culture, period. Culture exists because of, the word culture exists because of things like hip hop, you know what I mean? Hip hop is forever gonna be around whether you like it or not, because it's still only 40 years old and it's continuing to grow, you know?